Is Assetto Corsa EVO too much at once for Kunos? This question has been in my head ever since it became clear that the early access program had completely derailed. Looking at the original roadmap, it's just insane how many different things they promised to deliver in less than a year. I was holding on making this video, but the recent delay of 0.4 tipped me to actually recording this script. This is a pretty pessimistic assertion and I do not have any insider info, but I've seen a game or two that promised it all before and I can't shake this feeling off. The current landscape of sim racing is 300 different games duking it out for relevance in a tight market. Having a clearly defined niche and purpose probably matters more than any technical aspect. The original Assetto Corsa has a pretty clear one. It's a highly open sandbox with outstanding modding support by design. ACEVO's response when asked about its purpose seems to be simply, yes, we're being sold on 4 different things. A car collecting game with tuning, customization, and a full career mode. A unified online platform for competitive racing. An open world with 1600 square kilometers of the Eifel region of Germany for players to drive around and interact with, and for it to still be Assetto Corsa. For any AAA studio, this would be a monumental task, and let's be clear, Kunos isn't Polyphony and 505 Games sure as hell isn't Sony or Microsoft. Obviously, I'm Monday morning quarterback in game development, but I do doubt the feasibility of delivering a game that is supposed to supersede your other 2 games, plus a whole separate game mode with another magnitude bigger than Forza Horizon 5 with such a small studio. Many things right now can only be defined as wait and see, but I'm rather pessimistic about how well and timely they will deliver on it. It reminds me of Gran Turismo 5. Now, I love Gran Turismo 5, and much of its development woes are probably thanks to the PS3 being an arcade machine from hell, but that game also has tons of unpolished and underdeveloped features, be it the teams, the rally, the shorter GT mode, the track creator, how short the special events are, because they promised it too much. And in such a tight market, I really think Assetto Corsa EVO needs to be exceptional in at least one of these visions to succeed. I also have some observations on certain aspects of the game and how they will develop as the early access continues. I'm going to put all my chips on the table pretty early and say that the single player of Assetto Corsa EVO is going to be bad. Looking at Kunos' previous entries, looking at how bad the AI currently is, how uninteresting and janky the license tests are, and how thrown together the feature was at launch and still is. If any part of this game will receive the short end of the stick, it will be the career mode. Which is a shame because this niche is extremely underserved right now beyond the F1 games and knock on wood PMR. GT7 is not good at it, maybe it will be better with the new DLC. Forza Motorsport was terrible and now it's dead. Grid is dead, Project Cars is dead. Beyond the license tests, nothing that aggregates the single player experience has been released or even openly discussed by Kunos. They were talking a big game about this game being an RPG for petrol heads 1 year ago, but so far the only RPG element is a useless XP system. This silence does not bode well to the offline part of this game, which I think is going to be the ugly duck of the EVO flock. Also, I'm biased about this because I am a controller pleb. If they really want to sell the single player aspect of this game, a good controller support is kind of needed. It's not that hard, just look at Advanced Controller Assist mod for the original AC and how a lot of games, even competitive ones, have decent controller handling. The online part is also in shaky waters. Your proposition of directly hosting private servers by charging players has landed like a turd. So much so that I think they're making sure that outside hosting will be available. Seriously, most of the recent negative reviews on Steam hinge exclusively on that. It's not optional, they need to do it. This game will not thrive without custom modded servers, and the system is not financially advantageous to organizers compared to self or third-party hosting. Maybe their system will make sense for console players, but I'm also not sure that they would be willing to pay up for their own lobbies when some of the games offer it for free. And yeah, I know these are actual servers instead of peer-to-peer connection, but my point still stands. I think Kunos really wanted, cynically or not, to provide their own service for everything that the AC community provided, be it competitive racing or the casual free roam servers, and they really underestimated how much these communities valued the freedom that the decentralized environment of the original provided, especially because of mods. In my opinion, how open Assetto Corsa is to modification contributed much more to its success than any of its merits regarding how technically well it simulates cars. The sheer number of tracks and cars, and how much the guts of the game have been tinkered to add so much functionality and improvements to the base product, are the main reasons for it to be at its most popular 10 years after release. Kunos haven't said much about that whole system of approved mods since the initial review of the game, in my opinion, because actually implementing it and licensing it seems too much of a hassle, but they have said that modding tools would be prioritized to be released during the early access program instead of after release. I don't think they are oblivious of how much modding made Assetto Corsa the game that it is today. I hope. Again, I'm worried that this game is going to end up being a product of a development team spread too thin, that is unexceptional specifically because it's tried to do too much. While it's still early access, the 10 months haven't been encouraging, especially looking at the structure of the game. I could be completely wrong, damn, I wish to be. I bought the game already. I heard a lot of good things coming from the Sim Racing Expo. 0.4 is the biggest update yet in terms of content, but my doubts about being too expensive for its own good probably won't be soothed or confirmed until 1.0 releases.